YouTube? It's your boy Shooky J, aka J Bogey. Decided to switch up the intro a little bit because, I've been saying the same thing for years now. It's about time to switch it up a little bit. But today I'm going to be doing a video of, oh, well shit, maybe I should do a little bit of cleaning up before I do this video. I'll be right back. Just like that, it's all cleaned up. And now I'm ready to make a video. So this is the subject of the video today. It's going to be basically my boss ass gaming setup. And, it's not that dope by any means, but once I explain my situation, you might understand a little more. So really, unless you know me in person, you're probably not going to know this, but I actually moved from Connecticut to Talladega, Alabama. Yes, Talladega Speedway is literally 2 minutes down the road that way. But as you can see behind me, there is a lot of stuff going on back there. Suitcases, bunch of tools and whatnot. It's a mess right now. And that's because I'm moving back to Connecticut. The job is over with. Gonna move on to the next one, and it just happens to be in Connecticut. So that's what the mess is all about. And one more quick note before we start off. The lighting of this video is thanks to this vintage 300 watt bulb. I actually salvaged this from one of the job sites I was at, and it's huge. It's, pretty much the size of your hand versus one of those tiny light bulbs. In fact, here's a comparison to CFL, so that should tell you something right there. 300 watt incandescent. Bet people ain't seen something like that in a long time. But anyways, that's enough rambling on about a bunch of nonsense. Let's get to the point of this video. So, I guess let's start with the centerpiece of the setup. We have an LG 55-inch 4K HDR ready TV. So I know there's going to be a lot of people hating, saying, oh, you can't game on a TV, there's too much video latency, especially at 4K. But believe it or not, this TV has a game mode built in, and it does a pretty reasonable job of actually keeping up. So, for example, you move the mouse, it almost instantaneously happens on the TV. To my trained eye, I can see a bit of a delay, but for the average person, you're probably not going to notice it. So this I picked up at Walmart for $4.99. It was on sale for Black Friday. And I guess the next thing we could do here is the speakers. I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what these things are actually called. I probably could have gone in and done the research for that, but screw it, man. They're just some Logitechs, and they got a little subwoofer down there. They do a pretty decent job of getting loud, especially with the bass, so no complaints there. I got a Corsair K750 keyboard and a Logitech G500S, which is actually a few years old at this point, but I like this mouse because it actually has weights in the bottom, so you can eject this little pod here, and there's all sorts of adjustable weights and whatnot. So I highly rate this mouse. If you can find it on Amazon or eBay or something, definitely snatch it up. I don't think they make it anymore, so it would probably have to be through eBay. But anyways, you can also see I have a Xbox One controller somewhere tucked behind there. Probably can't see because it's too damn dark, but back there's a USB hub with a wireless adapter for my headset and this controller. So finally, I think the most important part of this video, obviously, what is powering all of this stuff. So here is my custom built rig. Now, this is, I believe, a Corsair case. I'm not even gonna lie, I have no idea what kind of case this is, but I basically went all in on this. I got a new job, started making really good money, and this is what happened. I ended up with a Core i7 7700. I can't think of the specs off the top of my head right now, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna dive right in to see what's on the inside of the rig, and I'll tell you the specs as we go along, because once I see it, I'll be able to give you more accurate information, because to be honest with you, I don't know it all off the top of my head. So we're just gonna dive right in, and we'll let you know once we get in there. Alright guys, so this is the internals of the rig. As you can see here, we've got a little bit of G.Skill 3200. I forget what the hell it's called. It's one of the higher clocks of the memory, but there's 32 gigs of it, so maybe I shouldn't said a little of, because there's definitely enough memory in there. Down here we have a 650 watt power supply by Corsair, and you're probably thinking, how in the hell are you running a 7700K and a 1080 Ti on a 650 watt power supply? Well, to that I would answer, I have no idea, but it's been working since day one and I haven't questioned it. I do have my fans set up in a pull-push situation, so all of these fans on the front are pulling in air. Those top two pull it through the radiator, and then the two fans up here and the one fan in the back, it pushes out. So in my eyes, that's a pretty even pull-push force, so hopefully not too much dust is going to be getting in there. But yeah, there's a little bit of RGB going on in here. I tend to turn it all off because, to be honest with you, once the cover is on, you can see the covers right there. There's pretty much no way to see it anyway, and it looks kind of stupid coming in through the top of the case. So that's what I'll usually do. I'll just turn off the lights. But I figured if I have it open like this, y'all can see we got the Duke logo lit up. This is a MSI GeForce 1080 Ti Duke. We have some Cooler Master fans, nothing special, pretty much just the cheapest ones I could buy. This is a Corsair H100i version 2, all-in-one water cooler. And of course that came with the Corsair fans as well. It's hard to see, but way back there says 960 Evo. I'm sure you can tell what that is just by looking at it. That's a 256 gigabyte Samsung solid state drive. Thing kicks ass in transfer speeds. And well, there's not much else to tell about this. I do have some of the stickers that came with the motherboard. I just stuck them on the front. Took the little L sticker that comes with the whatchamacallit, the processor, and then I think that little G.Skill sticker came. Ain't nothing special, just it's basically a kick-ass computer with not so high-grade like sides, and no, it's not, but I think that's the next point we need to get to. Let's get it back up, put back together, and let's run some. Wow guys, I have no idea what happened to that last segment, but I went back and reviewed the footage and saw that the audio and video was completely chopped up for that last bit. So I'm basically just gonna go back and explain what I was talking about. I said we're gonna close it up, get it plugged back in, run some benchmarks, and show you the gaming performance. But first, there are a couple of things that I missed. For those of you who want to know exactly what kind of motherboard that is, I actually got the box over here. It's the ROG Strix Z270E gaming motherboard. And the one other thing I missed, which you're probably not going to be able to see because it's so far back here, but there is there it goes, Western Digital Black 2 terabyte. That's 7200 RPM, obviously, because it's a desktop drive. But that just about covers it. I don't think there's anything else to tell, so let's move on to the next bit. Alright guys, so we have a bit of a benchmark here from Forza Motorsport 7. This is the latest game in the Forza series. As you can see, the details are just absolutely stunning. We got the raindrop effects going on, lots of detail on the road. And more impressively, even in 4K, we are seeing frame rates well above like the acceptable level, which I would consider 60. So this gets a thumbs up in my book. Definitely no complaints there. Coming up next, we have Grand Theft Auto 5. And even though this game is a few years old at this point, you can see it is really struggling to keep up. Now keep in mind, I have all of my settings maxed out, even the ones that shouldn't necessarily be maxed out, but give it a little credit here. We are doing this in 4K, so you gotta cut it a little break. But yeah, so that is the gaming performance, and now let's get back to the FaceTime. Alright guys, well that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this can maybe help you in your future purchase of a gaming rig, or maybe not the purchase of it, but building it. Hopefully this gives you some insight onto exactly the power of these components, because they're very expensive. My total expenses for this rig alone was a little over 2,200, I think. So you're definitely not gonna get this on a budget. Everything in here is pretty much top of the line, so this is really only made for serious gamers, and more specifically 4K gaming. If you have 1080 Ti and you're just gaming at 1080p, you're spending a lot of extra money for no reason. In my opinion, if you're gaming at 1080p, something like a 1060, or even a 1060 Ti, that would be fine for 1080p gaming. You could easily push 60 frames. Really, the only other thing that you would need a 1080 Ti for is if you were maybe doing 1440p at 120, or even 240 hertz. So, um, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I will be in contact with you guys, obviously through the form of another video, once I get back to Connecticut. So that pretty much wraps it up. I'll see you next time.